Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Is This Real? Just like usual, I'm your host Joe, and we got the panel with us tonight. Dad, welcome.
Welcome, how are you?
West, what's up?
Konnichiwa.
Block.
Yo, what's up?
Alright, so everyone's here as usual, and tonight we have, our episode is about the 27 Club. Now, the 27 Club is basically, there's a lot of factors going into the 27 Club, but it's a group of celebrities.
None of which you know.
Fuck you.
They are 27, by the way. That is the factor.
They die at 27 years old. They die with a white Bic lighter in their pocket. A couple of it's just weird coinky dinks that happen.
Well, right off the bat, I'm gonna put a little damper on your fun there. The white Bic lighter is bullshit. Now it might have been a couple of people, but that was way after the 80s. Only.
I think that was what? I think Hendrix was
only because the white Bic lighter wasn't in production until the late 60s.
Why does he have to ruin my fun?
Well, I'm not ruining your fun, but you know what? If we're going to get to
the myth of it, I even just read that.
If we're going to get to the bottom of this, we got to be truthful. We got to.
What if we're at the top?
Wait, so these people that had a white Bic lighter, they were probably they got a prototype or something?
No. That's an urban myth. That's a legend but you couldn't the guys that died. Robert Johnson died in 1938. He could not have had a white Bic lighter.
No.
Because it didn't come out in production until the 60s. So now, did Janis Joplin, did Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Brian Johnson? He didn't have one on him. He was in the swimming pool. He drowned.
Kurt Cobain had one, right?
Kurt Cobain might have had it. So that's 5 out of 60 people that had been recorded.
Amy Winehouse had one.
Amy Winehouse. But let's all put into perspective what they were doing.
Anton Yelich had one.
Okay. Now maybe,
sorry.
Just maybe they got, by coincidence, they got the white lighter. But they were also doing fucking heroin. They were smoking weed.
Anton Yelchin didn't.
Plot twist. It wasn't a white lighter back then. It was just a box full of matches.
Anton Yelchin is 1864.
What the fuck? We're going that bad?
And he couldn't have had the white lighter. So let's get that out of the way away.
Okay, so what I'll do here is I'm going to go down the names.
Go ahead.
Of who is in this 27 Club.
The infamous 27 Club.
Alexander Levi. He was a composer and pianist and a conductor. Mm-hmm. He was born November 10th, 1864, died January 17th, 1892.
Mm-hmm. He was 27.
His cause of death is unknown. Henry Evenpool, born October 3rd, 1872, died December 27th, 1899. He died of typhus.
Wait, he died on the 27th and he was 27 years old?
Ooh. Now we're gonna get sued.
Is this real?
Louis Chaffin, I believe that's how you spell his name. He was born March 13th, 1881, died March 26th, 1908.
Shit.
He died of neurosyphilitic, whatever the fuck this is, cirrhosis. It's some type of disease.
Some type of illness that took his life.
Robert Johnson. We'll get into Robert Johnson because Robert Johnson's case is kind of interesting. And the rumors surrounding Robert Johnson. But he was born May 8th, 1911, died August 16th, 1938. The cause of his death is unknown. Nat Jaffe. He was born January 1st, 1918, died August 5th, 1945, and he died of complications from high blood pressure.
These are all musicians, right?
Musicians, so far musicians, yes.
Musicians from like the 1800s and shit.
Well, we're in 1918,
okay,
so yeah,
20th century.
Cool. Jesse Belvin was born December 15th, 1932, died February 6th, 1960.
She was 27.
Yes, she was. She died in a traffic accident.
They had traffic back then?
1960. Okay. 1960.
They did. They also had segregation back then, by the way, guys.
Oh.
I'm not wrong.
Rudy Lewis, born 1823-1936, died May 20th, 1964. Ooh, this is where we start with the drug shit. Ooh. She died of, or he, I don't know.
Just to help you out a little bit, Jesse Belvin wasn't a she, it was a he.
I said he.
I thought you said she.
No, I said she for Rudy Lewis, but apparently he's a he.
Okay.
Rudy Lewis.
I apologize.
He died of a drug overdose, and he was He was a vocalist of the Drifters.
Yep.
Joe Henderson, April 24th, 1937. Sorry, died October 24th, 1964. He died of a heart attack. He was an R&B gospel singer. Rockin' Robin Roberts. Born November 23rd, 1940, died December 22nd, 1967. He died of a car crash. He was an original member and singer of the Fabulous Wailers.
That's the name of it, the Fabulous Wailers?
Yeah, that's the name of their band, the Fabulous Wailers.
So they were whale hunters, that's saying.
I
want your blubber.
Malcolm Hale, born May 17th, 1941, died October 30th, 1968. He was poisoned by carbon monoxide.
What the fuck?
He was the original member and lead guitarist of Spanky in Our Gang. Okay.
Hey, man.
Shout
out to them.
Dickie Pride. He's born October 21st, 1941. Died March 26, 1969. He died of a drug overdose with sleeping pills. He was a rock and roll singer.
He was 27.
He was 27. Brian Jones. Brian Jones was born February 28th, 1942. Died July 3rd, 1969. He drowned in a swimming pool. Coroner's report states death by misadventure.
Yep.
What the fuck does that mean?
In other words, a mistake.
He was like rock climbing or some shit, fell?
It's a misadventure.
No.
Who was this again?
Brian Jones.
Wasn't he the bassist for...
No, Brian Jones is one of the founding members, co-founder of the Rolling Stones. So he was an original Rolling Stone.
OG member, huh?
OG.
He was an OG, yo. But...
the next one is Alexandra. She was born May 19th, 1942, died July 31st, 1969. She died of a road accident. Just a road accident. Like, was she walking on the side of the road?
It was a road accident.
It was a road accident. The road caused the accident. 1969.
Okay.
She was a German Schlager singer.
I have no idea what that is.
Alan Blind Owl Wilson was born on America Day. Was born July 4th, 1943.
America.
Died September 3rd, 1970. He died of a drug overdose or basically a possible suicide by barbiturate. What the fuck is barbiturate? Because we were reading that before.
Barbiturate.
Honestly, like, all I'm thinking of is just a barbarian just coming out of nowhere, just whacking him with like a club or something.
Hold, please.
What is that? Wait, our fax man is on it.
Yeah.
Barbiturate is a drug that acts as a central nervous system depressant. They're effective as, I can't even say those, hypnotics and anticonvulsants, but have physical and psychological addiction potential as well as overdose potential among other possible adverse effects.
Okay.
Cool.
So I'm guessing it was like anxiety medicine or something for them back then.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is where we start hitting the big names.
Big dogs.
The next one is Jimi Hendrix.
Well, hold on a minute. Blind Owl Wilson, he's, not for nothing, but he was the lead singer of Canned Heat. So now you're already at that point, now you're at Woodstock. You're at that level. Janis, You're at the level with Jimi Hendrix, huh?
Nothing.
All right, you're now you're starting to get into where the rubber hits the road with this whole fucking thing. You know?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the big names.
All right, so
you hear me?
Okay,
Well, you can technically start with Brian Jones since he was the co-founder
you're right.
of Rolling Stones.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So Jimi Hendrix,
Rest in peace.
November 27th, 1942 is when he was dropped off by Mars. And he ascended back to Mars September 18th, 1970. He died of asphyxiation. He was a pioneering electric guitarist, singer, and songwriter for the Jimi Hendrix Experience and Band of Gypsies.
Yes, he was. Now, it said that he was American, but I thought he was from London.
No, he was born here. He was born in Seattle.
He was never born. He was dropped.
Yeah, I honestly believe that Jimi Hendrix is.
That's an episode we can do later down the road. Is this real? Is Jimi Hendrix a human?
Well, I've never. I think I'm pretty knowledgeable.
We could talk about Bruce Lee, too, because Bruce Lee was on some other shit, too.
I can tell you this much: I've never seen anybody
Jackie Chan
play the guitar like Jimi Hendrix. Nobody, and I've seen my share of guitar players. You know, you got some good ones out there. You know, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck. I'm not gonna. The list goes on. Richie Blackmore, but nobody, and I mean nobody, played the guitar like him. Nobody.
Sorry.
So he got sounds out of the guitar that you would never. You could sit there and you go, "How is he doing it?" You
He was on acid.
Huh?
He was on a lot of acid.
He was on more than acid.
He was on everything. You know.
Did you ever hear that song by Eminem? I'm on everything. That was him. That was Jimi Hendrix.
He got that for Jimmy.
All right, the next one is
Rest in peace.
Miss Janis Joplin.
My personal favorite one on this
She
list.
was born January 19th, 1943, and died October
4th, baby, my birthday.
1970. You happy that someone died on your birthday?
Well, it's a
He
little.
could have been he could be the reincarnation of her. You don't know.
I love
you
Janis.
don't know how he feels on the inside.
He was already 10 years old when she died.
You don't know how he feels on the inside.
He just kept going. Didn't even bother thinking about it for a second. Oh my God!
You have to go with it, bro. Fuck it. Fuck it.
If you're gonna commit, you gotta commit all the way there.
Go
Eric.
hard or go home, bro.
She died of a drug overdose
Right.
and of heroin.
Heroin.
She went hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love how it says in some of the notes it's probably heroin.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr. Harsh to win seal. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
We don't know.
Well, again, what happened to her was she was waiting to go to a recording studio, and she called. She was clean. She really had beat the
She
addiction.
didn't look clean.
She fuck you. Okay. All right, Janis beat the addiction, and she was again idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I'm sorry.
While she was waiting to go to the studio, she called her junkie, her dealer, and that same day, the dealer actually there was like 6 other people that died because of what this guy gave him.
Okay, that's fine and all. Look, I love the woman, and she has an amazing voice, but she looked like how trash cans smell.
I'm not going there. I love Janis.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Anyways.
I love
She looked like she
everything
has a
about
babe.
Janis. Sorry, buddy.
Anyways.
So the next one is Arlester Dyke Christian.
My favorite.
He was born June 13th, 1943, died March 13th, 1971, and he was murdered.
Murdered.
He was the frontman, vocalist, and bassist of Dyke and the Blazers.
Love it.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him either.
Next one is Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison. December 8th, 1943, died July 3rd, 1971. He died of heart failure.
Ooh.
Now, that was a big one.
Was he was he someone else that was like big on drugs too?
Oh, Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison.
Dude, Jim
He'd
Morrison
smoke
did
you if you
everything.
stood still. He would. He was just another one that.
Probably his heart gave out from all them
Right,
drugs.
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They lived young. They partied hard. They left a good-looking corpse. All of them. I mean, every one of them. It's just sad.
The next one is Linda Jones. She
Soul
was
singer.
born December 14th, 1944. Died March 14th, 1972. She died of complications from diabetes.
Damn.
And she was a soul singer. Next one is Leslie Harvey. Born
It's a
September.
bigger list than I thought.
It goes on.
Oh, are you going to read all the names, Joe? I mean, you'll be here all day.
Yeah.
We'll need a 3-hour show for this.
No, there's about another 100 names. It's cool.
Okay.
You can skip around some more popular names.
Yeah.
But some of these lists also do include like celebrities, like
Who's
athletes.
popular to you could be popular to somebody else. Can we tune to all of our audiences?
That's true.
Thank you, Eric.
That's true. I don't even know half these people on this list.
All right, so we're going to do that.
I know
then.
I know Jimi Hendrix was in here. I know Amy Winehouse was in there. I didn't listen to her music. May she rest in peace though. I heard she was a great singer.
No, because if you're talking about that, like I'm gonna go down the list right now and try to find somebody that I know. And then the next one after what I just read would be Kurt Cobain, and that's 94. So you're skipping 20 years of people who died in the 27
you
Club.
can't do that because Pigpen from the Grateful Dead. He's also in there. He was very popular.
I said people who I know.
Well, you would know, but you're young and stupid.
That's
I'm
not-
just talking about people that fucking. If you
Did you
want
know
to
who
get into
Pigpen
it,
was?
No.
well,
Thank you.
I just explained it to you.
Eric, do you know who Pigpen was? Exactly. I'm sorry.
Still on the
You're,
reincarnation.
you're
thing.
old and gray. I get it.
He's trying to fit all the pieces in with this reincarnation thing. He's almost there. He's got it.
You're right. Just give me a few minutes. I got it.
But that's my thing. Like
Thank you, Dad. I need
Roger Lee
Anytime.
I
Durham,
need to take my time.
Durham.
Derm.
Fuck you.
All right, can I get in here for a second, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Stick yourself in me. No.
Okay. You got guys on this list. You got guys on this list that all are now. You're into the same area. You're basically born in late 40s, early 50s.
World War II babies.
And what they're doing is a lot of them now
Yeah.
drug overdose, suicide by hanging, pulmonary edema, fell off a horse and died from the injuries. Okay, electrocution, and then you have the suicides in here.
I'm sorry.
Pete Ham from Badfinger, he's in here.
Excuse
Okay,
me?
let me just go down this list a little bit.
That sounds like a bad.
What we
bad
need to do
sex
is we
time.
need
That's
to
a bad
cross-reference. Yo, dickhead,
What?
we need to cross-reference here.
Murders and suicides.
No, you need to cross-reference who was drug abusers, who died of accidents, who died of natural causes, and who died of natural
Tune
causes.
in next week, folks.
Well, look, what I love about this one is Richie Edwards. He was born December 22nd, 1967,
he
and
an
died
actor?
February 1st, 1995. He was a lead lyricist and guitarist for Manic Street Preachers. Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
But this one said he disappeared.
he got
He
spirit.
just gone.
He got spirited away.
No, it was disappeared near a common suicide site. Later presumed dead. No fucking shit. Not unless he's fucking Elvis and on an island with Elvis and Amelia Earhart
And Tupac.
and Tupac.
Don't forget
Tupac's there.
Tupac. Tupac's on there.
Biggie is the island.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're as big
But
as an
see,
island.
this like you could go down. Now we're in the 2000s, where people died. 2006, 2009.
Amy Winehouse. What year was she? Like
Amy Winehouse died in 2011.
Oh shit.
She
really?
died of alcohol poisoning,
Oh shit.
and then
I thought she was a heroin addict.
She might have been, but her death is because of alcohol, not because of heroin.
Well, listen, man. I'm just going off of stuff that I think I remember.
And then you have Anton Yelchin, which that pissed me off. His death. Do you know how Anton Yelchin died?
Top reason.
Okay, fuck you. No,
How'd he
his
die?
death, how it happened, on June 18th, 2016, when he failed to arrive at a rehearsal, Yelchin was found by friends just before midnight, pinned between his Jeep Grand Cherokee, no TM, and a brick pillar gate post.
Oh, I remember your brother
outside his house.
I remember your brother talking about this
in
one.
Studio City, Los Angeles, the victim of what was described a freak accident. As Yelchin got out of his car and went to check his locked gate and mail, the vehicle apparently rolled back down his driveway, which was on a steep incline, and trapped him against a pillar and the security fence. That right there is some what's that movie?
Final Destination.
That's some Final Destination shit right there. That's what that is.
Yeah.
All right. They decided he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fuck it.
Something told him, yo, I need to check my gate.
And then something that told him murked him. And that pissed me off.
Wasn't he the Anton? Fuck. Why do I know that name? Wasn't he? Like
That's the one he played in Star Trek.
He was in the Star Trek reboots from 2009 and the other one that came out in 2013. No, he played the Russian dude.
He played Anton
He was
Yelchin.
He was a small Russian dude.
Oh,
I don't know what to do here, my friend. Or no, that's not Russian. But,
Yeah.
I kind of. I kind of got.
Thank
Damn
you.
it! It's been a while. It's been a while since I
Thank
watched
you,
Star
Eric.
Trek, though. It's like,
Well,
yeah.
that's where he's basically.
But
known
here's
from.
okay. So, but the question turns around. It's like, do you believe the aura of the 27 Club? That there's a mysterious thing above us is taking out celebrities at the age of 27.
This is where I'll go with it. But this is where like my crazy high brain goes. So something with numerology goes that like 9 is like one of those like perfect numbers, and 27 would be like 2 plus 7, and that's 9. So
or it's 9 times 3.
It got something to do with numerology, but then again, I have no idea what I'm talking about either because like I'm very lit right now. So
Thank you, Eric.
But I don't believe that there's like some like mythical thing going on with like actors and stuff like that at 27. Because come on, man, Jay-Z popped at 27.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's Eric's dad.
I don't believe it, and I'll tell you why. My theory would be basically this: since we took that white theory out of the way, that white Bic shit out of the way, that's gone. Now, what I believe is,
Destroyed all my shit right there.
at 27, these people have made it big when they were young, very young. 17, 18, 19. Janis Joplin's at Woodstock at 21, 22, right? Jimi Hendrix, Woodstock. Then he was very, very young. They lived a fast, hard life. And either they got too rich too quick. Now I'm talking about the ones that died of drug overdose, okay, or alcohol poisoning. These are people that lived the high lifestyle, literally, and basically, at a certain point in your life, 27 would be. You're not really a super. You're not a 30-year-old. You're not an adult, but you are. Your body now has been decimated for years. And it might just be that the coincidence is at 27 when your body's starting to change.
I mean, also think about the type of drugs that they had and types of things that they were taking back then too.
Could be, yeah.
It was a different type. There was
Well,
a different type of processing how to make
That's
those
fine though.
chemicals and
If you
drugs
want
and
to
stuff
say the
like
drugs and stuff around like the
the 70s and
the
stuff.
60s and 70s, I get that. That's fine. But when it's started back in the 1800s and it's still taking out people not still taking out, but people
you also
are dying at now.
But you also got to understand. I was just getting into, the suicide or the drugs and stuff. Then you go over to the suicides. Maybe they were so young and so fast and so loose. They made it so big that by 27 they were starting to decline. They were starting to say, you know what, they're not selling as many records anymore. Or you know how the world is very fickle. You can be a superstar today and then tomorrow nobody knows how you are. So maybe at that time, and then they couldn't take it anymore, so they killed themselves. Now, the accidents, I have no explanation for that because you can't. You can't, like the guy that got killed in his driveway or any of these people.
Or the bitch fell off a horse.
Yeah, you can't. These are not something that you can put together. I would say if you're going to say there's some kind of conspiracy or there's some kind of cosmic thing, that would be the one I would go to. Those people who died of the natural causes or who died of the
freak accident.
Freak accidents. Stuff that they didn't set out that day to do. But as far as the overdoses and the drugs and everything else, yeah, I do believe that at a certain age, your body just goes. Jim Morrison went over to France because he just couldn't deal with it anymore. He did not want to be popular anymore. Okay, and I'll give you another guy, the Vito Bratta from White Lion, the band White Lion, couldn't take it anymore. He didn't want to be popular anymore. He couldn't take it. Steve Perry was well past 27, but he didn't want to do it anymore, so he bolted. These are things that, if they don't want to do it, then and they're at that age, it might have just affected them in that way. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Josh, what do you think?
I think being famous and celebrityhood and all that stuff can really take a toll on someone depending on where they come from, how they're raised, stuff like that. Because as what you just said, they could have gotten famous early and started living a fast lifestyle, or someone didn't guide them or help them or whatever. Next thing you know, they're doing everything they possibly can left and right because they have the money to spend. It's like, where do you go when you get like that famous? What do you do? Like, it's different nowadays, obviously, because technology, social media, you can. Medical has gotten better. People can heal easier from stuff like that.
Not only that, but like a lot of these like people, if we're gonna go that route where like they were suicidal thoughts, where maybe they weren't like as relevant anymore. Like the internet can help you keep relevancy. Like
the more I look at this list, the more
nowadays,
what I mostly see, the two biggest like things that have happened to people. I have about. I would say it's mostly suicide.
Yeah.
But the second one is actually like road accident / traffic accidents. Like shit that
you can't explain
you
at all.
can't explain. And then you have there's a lot of murder on here. A lot of death.
Well, I think that can play into like being too famous. You sit there, think about it nowadays. It probably would be worse than it was back then, but it's like back then you make a famous song, everyone listens to it, you get fans, you get people who end up becoming obsessed.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is right now.
Sit there, come after you, be like, oh, I want your autograph, whatever, for days and days, and then they become obsessive.
Well, that's how John Lennon died.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
gonna say, how old was he when he died?
30, wasn't he?
31, I think.
Yeah, 31, 32, something like that.
Yeah, you get people that will sit there and end up murdering people.
When you look at the list and how many people have been murdered, it actually starts to get
bigger.
The more murder you see is like 90s, 2000s. That's where you see most of the all these people were murdered, and I think that goes with the more popular people get, the more social media and
more
the
famous,
internet,
the more issues, problems,
that has to deal with. And but I think that's with any celebrity, not just anybody who's 27.
No, yeah. I mean, that's in general. I mean, at least according to this list,
27 is just like that big coinkydink.
Yeah, it just happens. I mean, come on, look at the list. What is there, like 100-something people on this?
Yeah, but that doesn't even include like a lot of the popular ones that were just like killed or just, you know what I mean? Like,
and then, like I said,
have to be 27. 27 is just one of those like, oh shit, like now you're 25, now you're a man. So it's like in music, it's like watch out for the age of 27. Like that shit.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of other like weird things. Like you have the 27 Club, and then under it says see also, and it says the 23 Enigma or the Curse of the Ninth, stuff like that. So there's a lot of different theories out there for celebrities and shit like that. But
look at the young. See here, you got the guys that were like, when they were very young in the 60s, they were on these TV shows. The guy for the Munsters, Butch Patrick. Then you had the guy for Lost in Space, Billy Mummy. Then you had a lot of different young guys that made it super big on these sitcoms. But when the sitcoms go away, they were known as Eddie Munster. He's still Eddie Munster.
Yeah,
I met him 5 years ago. And to me, he was Eddie Munster. He's 60 years old.
Yeah.
So these are guys that could not get any more work. And even if they could, after they were child actors, they were done. They had no career. So, to really go onto this list, and I know it's 27 years old. I get it. But you also got to look and to see how much did that play a factor? How much, look at me. I'm still here. And like what you said before, Josh, now with the internet, it's lessening because they're staying relevant more because they have a fan club. They have a base. People are paying attention to them. They're making money still.
Yeah.
Where And I'll give you an example. The Bay City Rollers. I don't know if anybody here heard of the Bay City Rollers. Okay. In 1978, I believe it is, they were going to be dubbed as the New Beatles. They were from England. They were...
there was 4 of them. They had the good... They had
well,
all
no,
the
there was actually 5 of them. And, they came out. The girls went fucking ape shit. It was Beatlemania all over again. But they died out here just as fast as anything. But yet, in Japan, you go to Japan today, they're like the Rolling Stones.
That's
because
why we need to go to Japan, bro.
the people in Japan do not let go of their idols.
We'll be the Beatles over there.
We're here, we do. And that could be a contributing factor to these people saying, you know what, I was relevant once and now I'm not. But I'm just going to get high and get fucked up and I don't give a shit. I got the money, and maybe, just maybe, it all corresponds around that time. And again, the accidents and shit like that, the murders, I can't figure that out. That's just too much.
Hold
on. So
this one is kind of, because you have 352 days in a year, right?
Correct.
62.
62.
You said 50.
362 days in a year?
65, actually.
365. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Never mind. 52 weeks.
How dumb is all fucking 3 of us? Mr. Calendar over there figured it out.
I'm looking at every single one of you because I don't even know what to say.
I was looking at him.
Obviously, you
damn, my nigga,
failed
really,
as a group and fucking.
No, because I didn't. Okay. What I'm looking at is I'm like, okay, so this one guy, he died at 27 years old, and they have the number of days after their 27th birthday.
Right.
So it's 27 years old and 362 days. I'm sitting there like, that's a full year, but it's not. He died 3 days before his birthday. I didn't
See. Josh would have picked that up. He should do this instead of you. He would have never brought that up.
Education was not.
He's the stat man.
Education was not our specialty, folks. We're trying.
English is not our specialty.
We're trying.
Well, to be honest, I've been kind of quiet. It's just because for some reason I keep going back to Kurt Cobain, and I don't know why. Like on this whole list.
Oh, and his famous shotgun?
Oh my god! It does say suicide by gunshot.
Well, no, well, wasn't
but
that...
Kurt Cobain is one of those
it's
people.
It's not just one gunshot, though. It was a shotgun. You know what happens with a shotgun?
Can you mute his mic?
It's a lot of pellets.
Can you shut that mic off?
It's not just
the board
one
is on
bullet.
his side. I can't.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Although I got a bottle and I'm not afraid to use it.
Or as everybody likes to say, the Kurt Cobain microphone.
I don't want to be part of this podcast.
I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Anyway,
It's a shotgun.
For Kurt Cobain, it was 27 years, 44 days. He's the founding member, lead singer, guitarist, and songwriter for Nirvana.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why I'm pointing that out because it's like, it's kind of well, not really middle, but between back then and between now, like the status of being a celebrity changed, I guess, or it seems weird.
Between the 60s and now?
Yeah, it
Well,
changed
yeah,
because you introduce technology and stuff like that, and at the height, and it's like, I can, if drugs weren't involved, at least for him, for his sake, just throwing that out there, if drugs weren't involved, why do suicide? Like, it makes me think, is like, okay, was the being famous too much for them? Was it being that no one likes him anymore too much for him? Was it that he can't compete with other songs, or was it family wise or stuff like that? It's like those kinds of things like stick in my head with stuff.
Well, my question
especially for
is,
celebrities like that.
well, my question is, if you listen to Nirvana's, like, their songs, especially for you because you're older than basically all of us, would you sit there and
you say put together and I'm gonna fucking kick your ass?
If you sat there and listened to his songs, the Nirvana songs, like, could you have predicted that he was going to kill himself?
All right, well, number one, you wouldn't catch me if I...
Yes, I know.
If there's one album left and it was his, I would listen to spoons dropping out of a fucking drawer. There'd be no... I couldn't do it. No offense to Madonna, no offense to Kurt Cobain and...
Nirvana.
And Nirvana, I just... I don't get it. I don't understand.
I like 3 or 4
shit.
songs. That's really it.
I don't like 3 or 4 minutes of any song. Now... I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying
it's like with every band. I feel like every band has like good and bad songs.
I'm not saying that they were bad or they're bad people. They're probably good people.
It's not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. I don't. I mean, there's certain people.
I don't like tea.
There's certain people. I'm going to get in trouble with this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. There's certain people that are looking in the face and go, "The Beatles are overrated," and we all know who I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, if it wasn't for the fucking Beatles, you wouldn't have your fucking shit you listen to today. That's a fact, Jack, and that's the way it is.
Biggity.
But people don't
Freaking
have to
fact.
like the Beatles. They don't. They can say, well, I disagree with you, and that's fine. You can disagree, but everybody has their own opinion. And to me, Kurt Cobain, I couldn't have predicted anything. Maybe I could have predicted that he's a horrible songwriter and basically, whatever. But he spoke for a generation.
As you are.
It was just. I'm not
Can
going to
you
get into
stop
that
being
part
a
of it.
pussy?
But to answer your original question, Dickless, I'm going to just tell you
I
straight.
don't think that's fair.
Okay. All right, little dick.
That's
I'm
not
gonna,
fair either.
That's totally fair.
It's
Continue,
definitely
Joe.
fair, bro.
Why?
I'm trying to get my thought out.
How do
He's
you
fucking
know?
interrupting
I
me.
know, right? Rude bastard.
We have to mute that microphone, man.
You're
This
the
is
one just fucking go.
Anyways,
Earth to Joe.
I'm listening, asshole.
I
fucking
could not have predicted his death
All right.
at any given time. Sorry.
I don't listen to Nirvana.
That's fine.
Okay.
Good for you.
I don't listen to Nirvana.
I
Anyway.
can say, yeah, I never listened to either, and I guess it's just one of those things, at least for me in this time, that for some reason, like seeing Kurt Cobain's name and then the suicide by gunshot, it's kind of bringing back what happened to Chester from Linkin Park.
Yeah, but he hung himself, though.
No, I know that, but still, that's something that's like,
For a second, I thought you were talking about Cheddar Bob, but whatever.
oh my god.
I'll be honest with you. If you're gonna ask if I
The
could,
next
if
time I
could,
start
if I could
talking, I'm muting him.
if
Please.
I could have predicted
Please.
Chester's was
See,
kind of.
But that's the thing, Eric. For people like us, we couldn't have predicted, but it's only because of the fact that for some reason their music resonated with us.
He wasn't
All
27,
their
by the way.
songs. Well, yeah, we know that. I'm just saying it just brings me to that point because all those songs and stuff like that. When you think about it, look at the titles and the lyrics and stuff like that. Like that man was hurting,
A lot.
and none of us picked up on it. Like it resonated with us because we felt like we were going through the same things. Some of the things they would say would just like move us in ways we didn't compare.
Yeah, right.
Like at one point, I think I had all the Linkin Park albums and stuff like that. And I feel like for other people, like maybe that's what they're thinking with the whole Kurt Cobain thing and Nirvana and stuff like that. And it's like one of those things. If I could ask Nirvana fans, like, if you were really that big into them, could you have predicted that? Like, was there any songs or titles or something like that might have sticked out that, thinking back now, like, shit, like, you could have opened our eyes if we actually thought about it a different way,
Hindsight's
It's just-
2020. I mean, we all, you do that for everything basically. But yeah, I know what you mean. What was he talking about? And I'm not going to sit there and tell you about Kurt Cobain or Chester. I really didn't listen to Linkin Park either. But you have to take into consideration, and I'll give you a good example of that. Robin Williams, from a very, very early time, I always thought there was something wrong with Robin Williams. And I mean, when you tell people that, they say, well, he's always joking, he's laughing, he's joking. There was a sadness about him that he always had. And I can't say I'm going to say, well, I knew he'd kill himself, because I didn't. But I just knew there was a sadness there, and
It's like something you can't fake.
exactly. And I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe it was the way he carried himself. But I look at that. I look at him now in a movie, and I don't see that anymore. I don't see that sadness. I don't see that, because maybe now in my mind, that all took its toll. And now he's dead, so you can't feel that anymore. So yeah, I do believe that you do have to, watch what they're doing or whatnot. Not to say that he had roles that made you think he was going to kill himself, but there was something.
Well, he had roles that make me think that he was going on a mass murder spree.
Well, that's because a comedian is a great actor in a drama show. They're just great.
Well,
I mean, what's that movie 23 with Jim Carrey?
yeah.
Oh, come on now.
That
Here's a
movie
guy
was
that you
horrible,
just look
though.
at him and you piss your pants laughing. You couldn't do that in that movie
Well,
because he was psycho.
the only thing that brings me back to Kurt Cobain and like if people could predict.
Wasn't that one a conspiracy too? Didn't people think that someone murdered him and like framed that?
Well, everybody thought that Courtney Love murdered him, or had him murdered.
And like framed it as a suicide type thing.
But the only thing that brings me back to Kurt Cobain and about his, thing is that you could predict it. If you ever listen to the song Lithium,
Yeah.
that song just screams depression to me. I don't know for what reason, but it's just there's so many lyrics in there that's like it's just basically to me, the guy's going through so many emotions and he can't control his emotions.
All right, well, let's look at it from this perspective. Imagine you're a musician, you write a very depressing song, and then you write that song to just like kind of get that off your chest. And then you got your fans screaming, "Yo, we want to hear this song," and you're bringing up all these emotions that you had to, withstand for you to write this song, and that could probably like eat you up slowly.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And who knows how many... obviously, when you're talking about the suicide aspect of the 27 Club, who knows what goes through these people's minds. But as far as the drug overdose aspect, those are just, I guess, accidents. Shit that happened because, they were young and dumb.
I just can't... I can't sit here and tell you that, there was some kind of occult thing behind it. Again, could be dead wrong. I don't know. I just can't. It is something like, like something's...
it's too random to me.
Right. Some of these subjects we touch on, I can say there's something there that doesn't make sense, and I lean towards that occult. Here, I'm not. Here, I'm just... I'm taking now. If it was all something that they all died with their hand in their pocket, and or whatever,
or if they all had that white Bic lighter,
if in fact that was true, then I'd say, okay, well that's too much of a coincidence. There's something going on here.
There's a serial killer,
right? But you can't. I just can't link murders, suicides,
Captain Crunch,
shit like that. I just can't put that together and say, well, there's an occult theme behind it.
It's a demon. Like I can't do shit like that.
I can't. It's almost impossible for me to sit here and say that. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, here's a question. How many people do you think actually really died with the white lighter stuff?
Maybe
in
6.
order for that to even to be a myth.
Yeah, I would say 6, maybe 7. I don't know.
Maybe like some of the big dogs. Maybe like, I think Winehouse. Did Winehouse smoke cigarettes? Probably. Maybe Winehouse.
No, she was from alcohol.
But she could have been a cigarette smoker, so she could have had a lighter.
Well, all right. True,
well, apparently there's 4, and it's basically the 4 big ones.
Only 4 died with the Bic lighter?
Only 4.
How's that even a fucking some kind of theory?
Maybe because it's just the big 4.
I mean, it's claimed that several artists, musicians, and artists died, but the only ones who actually they found with the Bic lighter, they have pictures and everything like that, is Hendrix, Joplin, Morrison, and Cobain.
I can see that.
You're looking at, when did Cobain kill himself? 96, 97?
93.
93? So Janis died in 70. Jimmy died in 71. Okay, so you're looking at a span of 20-some years.
Again, it says the white lighter curse or the white lighter myth is an urban legend based on the 27 Club, in which it is claimed that 7 musicians and artists died while in possession of a white lighter, leading white lighters to become associated with bad fortune.
Now, was it a white lighter or was it a Bic lighter?
It just says white lighter.
I think it's a white Bic lighter.
I've heard Bic lighter before.
Because it's the same thing in stoner culture, where it's just like smoking with a white lighter usually brings misfortune or something.
The myth has been interrogated with with cannabis culture.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to step back a little bit. You said you wanted to explore
Robert Johnson.
Robert Johnson. That thing I can say, you know what? Out of all of them, I can say there's something there because those blues artists used to do that. Yeah. Musicians would do that.
Well, we're talking about a cult with Robert Johnson,
right? He met a gentleman at the crossroads at midnight. The guy couldn't play guitar. Now that's a fact. The guy could not play. He sucked. But yet somehow he met this guy, made a deal with the devil.
Oh, this story.
In fact, there was a movie with the Karate Kid dude in it. He was in it called Crossroads.
The Asian?
No, what's his name?
Jaden Smith.
Ralph.
No, not that.
Ralph Macchio was in it, who actually learned how to play the guitar in there, and he was really fucking good, by the way. But for that, I'm going to tell you, I do believe that did happen. I do believe there wasn't, because he came out and he was a phenomenal guitar player. But he also only wrote 20, get this, 7 songs.
Ooh.
Maybe that was his deal with the devil.
Or I'm hoping it's 27 because I'm going to look like an asshole if it ain't. But
Imagine,
I do believe
sorry,
it was.
bro,
I do believe it was 27.
28.
28. It could be 28. I'm going to look an asshole plus 1. But the thing is, you know,
or minus 1.
He got what he wanted, and then he had to give up what he sold. So I do believe that could have been one of it, and maybe because he's involved in this somehow, that the occult thing there started with everything else, and just went to make the life of its own.
That's fine, but there was one person who died before him that was part of the 27 Club.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying. I'm just taking him.
Yeah, but that story is just too crazy, bro. Like, think about it. Like, he was gone for like a year before he came back and played.
Actually, there was 3 people that died before him that are part of the.
But the thing is, he's the only one that you can actually link something occult to.
Yeah, that one's a little iffy.
And again,
I guarantee if you research, because if you talk about the musicians during the 60s and 70s, there's no proof to it. But I know a lot, but I've heard that there was a lot of occult things that happened with artists during the 60s and 70s, that they were, big artists were always into the occult, devil worship.
A lot of them were into it. And you know how you know that? I mean, I don't have any firsthand knowledge, but Little Richard once said, exactly. Little Richard once told everybody that, these musicians and artists are standing around and drinking blood and praising the devil and stuff like that. Now, this is Little Richard, who's a God-fearing Christian. I don't think he's going to make this shit up. He might have seen it. Another guy that didn't explain what he said was Bob Dylan. They asked him, they asked him a question about. I forgot.
Does anybody listen to Bob Dylan?
Listen, hold on. And Bob Dylan was basically saying, I'm just sick. I'm sitting around waiting to pay the big man. And so he looked at him. He goes, what do you mean the big man? He says, I got what I wanted. Now the big man needs to be paid.
Okay, Bob.
What was he talking about? But he never explained the guy. It was on CBS, I believe it was. You can probably dig that interview up.
That's so vague and so creepy.
Exactly. Who was he talking about? What big man? God?
I don't fucking know.
So
very vague, very creepy.
And what are you gonna bust? You're gonna bust Dylan's balls, guy.
That's another episode. Another episode.
I'm still waiting for that Christmas album. I am.
Christmas bells, jingle bells, jingle bells,
jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
But
that's like the equivalent of like DMX singing Rudolph, and I love it.
Rudolph,
he was like, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Hey, it was great. It was great. You have to see that video.
Shitter quick tonight. Holy fuck!
No, I mean this topic.
It's a little out there to just like narrow down to like it's this.
Yeah, because there's so many people that died, that are identified members, but you're sitting there like it's such a not vague. It's more you're reaching.
It's so broad.
Yeah, it's a very broad thing to sit there and go, what are the qualifications of it just to die at 27?
Right.
Like,
but it is. But you got to say,
and you have to be famous. Like,
you got to say, and I do believe it is a coincidence on all of them. I do.
Winky dink.
Because if it wasn't a coincidence, it would be 27th birthday, you're dead. Some are 27 in 3 days, 27 in 5 days, 27 in 200 days.
Well, I don't have anybody on this list so far that is exactly 27
Exactly.
years old.
So that to me blows it out of the water. Now, it is a coincidence, and it's a strange coincidence at 27, but yet you don't
the
even
lowest one I see is 27 and 11 days.
You don't have any, there's no really hardcore theories. I mean, you could take the Kennedy assassination, and you got 300 theories. You take this, and nobody's really going, I think it could happen like this. It's one theory, and they come up with the Bic Lighter theory that makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see celebrities going, I don't want to be 27. Like they're not coming up like that. So.
It is. It just doesn't make much sense, and it's very, very coincidental. But that's just to me what it is, a coincidence.
I do not believe that the 27 Club is real. If that's the
I don't
question.
believe it either.
I
I
don't
don't
think it's
believe
real.
that there's a thing there. It's coincidence, but I don't think there's a.
And I
a
don't
cult
believe. I don't
fascist
really
thing
believe
there.
in many coincidences,
Yeah.
but that one is just like that one's just too.
Well, as far as for next week's episode is going to be about. At least I would like to talk about. I don't know if you guys would like to.
Can I answer?
What?
Since all three of you guys answered, I didn't.
Right? We always forget about Josh. Like,
Jesus
come on.
Christ!
Yeah, that
what
would
am I
be
in the
nice.
corner?
He's like the fucking double D.
I
of
thought
the-
you talked about it though.
No,
Josh
I didn't
is
say anything.
Josh
yet.
is the most prepared guy we got, and you're like blew right over him.
It's the head, man. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I'm telling you,
Okay,
man.
leave my head out of this. All right?
You gotta fucking block that dude's mic, man. Jesus.
I'm gonna have an automatic mute button just for Joe, so I can actually talk. For me, no, I don't believe in that. I don't believe there's actual
Thank you,
things
Joshua.
going on. I think it's just random coincidence. I do agree with the rest of you for once on this.
Wow.
Thanks
That's
for
on.
giving me the chance to answer.
You're welcome.
Oh dear God, that was good.
So next week's episode.
Hello, I'm here. He's raising his hand. He's like, "What about me?"
Next week's episode
Excuse me.
is going to be about the Vatican's cover-up of the priest scandals.
There's a movie called Spotlight that talks about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the one that
It's
like
very interesting.
So let's all watch that movie, and then we'll.
I watched it. It was good.
I watched it too.
What is it on YouTube?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Netflix.
All right, yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
Josh, what say you? I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. At least Joe asked.
Well,
Big Joe asked me questions.
well, everybody.
I will watch Spotlight.
We have
and
our
we can
first
talk
sponsor
about
for
it.
this evening. Our first sponsor tonight, This Is Israel episode, is sponsored by the Guitar Hero Kurt Cobain edition. It comes with a preloaded shotgun. But good night,
We're
everybody.
no longer going to be able to do this podcast. Thanks.
And
You're pissing off everybody. I
and
hope we
we
got
are not-
Japan tonight. I'm really.
And we are not.
We didn't
sponsored
say
by
anything.
those
Ding, ding, ding. Now we did.
Oh,
And we're not. And we're not sponsored by these people at all.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start the sponsorships in March. So if anybody out there needs to do some advertising,
And we're being serious on this. We're not actually
contact us. Any one of
on
us
Facebook.
Any one of us, we can. We'll get you the information you need. We're not that expensive. It's basically it's a way to make ends meet. And
We're
Help
sitting
us
here,
help you.
Yeah, we're sitting here with our hands out begging.
Yeah, basically.
Please, sir, I want some more.
So I do believe that
I do
tonight
believe. I do
tonight was a
declare.
good episode. It wasn't as good as the Cecil Hotel. That's the best one we've ever done, in my humble opinion.
Well, part
and I'm
two
gonna.
goes up next
What do you
week,
think,
so.
Josh?
that's going to be the new thing from now on.
What do you-
Joe's going to turn to me and ask, "What do you think, Josh?" Because no one else does.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's your fucking.
Oh,
That's
dear
your
God.
That's the plan from now on, all right?
That's fine. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, yeah, to
Good
me.
night, folks.